Country singers Tim McGraw and his wife Faith Hill are going to play the XL Energy Center this weekend, but before they go ahead and do that, they're going to be at a benefit on Lake Minnetonka to raise money for families of military members.
It is a home, it's at the home rather of the owner of the Minnesota-based Snap Fitness. WCCO's Jennifer Merrily found out why he decided to open up the private show to boaters.
The stage is nearly set for Grammy Award-winning singer Tim McGraw. The country crooner will play for 400 on Sunday in what's being called Liberty on the Lake.
This is a Snap Fitness event, but the benefactor is Folds of Honor. And Folds of Honor, when you boil it down, it's about paying for education of the children of families of fallen soldiers.
Snap Fitness owner Peter Taunton serves on the board of the nonprofit. He brought together his passion for philanthropy with a new partner in business and fellow supporter of veteran causes, Tim McGraw. The concert venue is set on Taunton's lakefront estate on Palmer Point.
We wanted to make sure that this event, it felt exclusive for all of our guests.
The show will raise nearly $200,000 for scholarships.
The need is huge.
All of that stays in Minnesota for Minnesota families.
These people have made sacrifices, and in some cases the ultimate sacrifice, and it recognizes their loved one for what they did for our country.
In the spirit of raising awareness, Taunton decided to open the event up to whoever can make it on the water.
So we promoted it saying, look, come by boat. We spent a lot of money putting speakers along the shoreline, so acoustically they're going to experience the concert as well. We designed the stage, as you see, where Tim can very easily turn around, face the lake crowd.
Jennifer Merrily, WCCO 4 News.
And we've heard of people who plan to park their boats tomorrow to get a good spot on the water. Now, the event is not until Sunday. It goes from 11:30 until 3 o'clock with Tim McGraw on stage around 1:30.
Palmer Point's near the southwest corner of Lake Minnetonka, and that'll be the place to be. We have a lot more information on Folds of Honor and the good work they do at WCCO.com/links.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was studying business statistics, right, which was hard for me anyway. And I remember closing my book, and I looked at my twin brother and I said, I quit. And it ended up being one of the best things I ever did.
Personally, I didn't get the opportunity to go to college, and I'm glad I didn't, because you meet a friend and they're like, oh, so where'd you go to school? You know, they're kind of asking where you went. I'm like, I went to the School of Hard Knocks.
I would rather be street smart than book smart any day, and I learned a lot the same way you did. My dad, with his small grocery store, when I was 8 years old, he gave me the opportunity to sell popcorn in front of his grocery store. 25 cents a bag, so every Saturday you'd see me there. And then at the end of the day, we'd pay off the popcorn and oil, and then my dad would take half and we would take half. I could never repay him for the education my dad gave me. It's so valuable. He taught me how to work. I picked up a racket when I was 13, and racquetball was a sport to me that came easy to me, right? So by the time I was 17, 18 years old, I was a professional. So I spent a lot of time inside the court. And at that same club was the same club that offered me a job when at the time I was living in Orlando, Florida. The club was losing money, and they said, hey, Peter, if you come back and run this club for us, we'll pay you $16,000 a year, but we'll give you an opportunity to buy us out with the profits that the business generates. So for me, that was the opportunity that I needed. I had to get creative. I started bartering. So I went to the carpet store in town, and I said, tell you what, I don't have any money, but I have memberships. How about if you give me carpet and I'll give you memberships for all your employees? And to my surprise, many of them said, okay. Slowly the membership base began to grow. And over a matter of 4 years, the business went from losing $200 grand a year to making $200,000 a year. I went right back to the bank, got another loan, built another club. Now I had 2 clubs paying 1 loan. So you know what, when you start with nothing, you're fearless.
Crazy, a lot of your buddies are probably still up in St. Cloud.
St. Cloud, hey Peter, let's go party, let's do this, that. I mean, it's the typical life of a 22-year-old. Right. And you know, I remember when I came into the club, I remember I had an all-staff meeting, and I said, hey, tomorrow we're going to clean. The next day I come to work, and before I'm getting ready to start cleaning, there's probably 40, 50 people there. About 3 or 4 of them step forward, speaking on behalf of the group, and they said, "Hey, Peter, we just want you to know, we don't clean." Okay, that's not what we do. In other words, that's not in our job description. I look at them, you're talking about a character building moment. I take a step back. I don't know half of their names, right? I've been there all of 2 days. And I said, "And you also don't have a job." I had to do it, right? And those were character building moments, and I filled in the voids where I had to. But I tell you what, that's how we were able to grow that membership base so fast, because I said, you know, when people come in, we're going to call them by name. This club is going to be clean, and we're going to deliver on our promise, helping people get fit. I took the one club and I built it into 6 clubs. These were clubs with indoor pools, racquetball, aerobic studios. They were big clubs. I sold them, and what it got me to do, it got me to think about what if. So I asked myself, what if I eliminate racquetball courts? What if I eliminate aerobic studios? What if I eliminate the swimming pool and childcare?
Overhead and
all of it. So this club that was normally 40,000 square feet was suddenly 4,000 feet. Instead of having 50 employees, I had 2, right? The unit level economics came in place. So I built one club, and in 90 days, I sold enough memberships in 90 days to cash flow the business for the year. And that was the starting point of what today is known as Snap Fitness, with a couple thousand locations around the world, and then multiple other brands that we've developed since then. Did I know at that time I was gonna build one of the largest franchises in the world? Of course not.
Your vision of success, now that you're here, you have it, you got your cars and you got your beautiful home, and is it what you think, or is there some things, you know, with the success you've had, things, you know, maybe you do differently? Or
I've never been lonelier in my life than I am right now, which, as crazy as that sounds, I've never been lonelier. And when people say money can't buy you happiness, it's the truth. There is so much truth in that. I pinch myself every day. I walk outside this beautiful home, and my beautiful home in Florida, or when I'm boating or planing, whatever I'm doing, I say, how did I get here, right? And why me, God? What is your plan for me? But you need to have someone to share it with. You need that's one part of it. And then living life with purpose. What's the rest of my life look like? It looks like diversity. I love my lodge in Africa, in the Serengeti, and trying to do good there, try to make a dent in anti-poaching. I could show you some of the most inhumane videos of poaching that you can imagine, that literally you'll be in disbelief of what it is. It is a lot of work yet to do, for sure.
well, I mean, you have that presence to you. People, you know, you're good leaders. People want to follow you. The more people see you doing things, the more people will follow on, and then they'll do it and people will follow them. And
yeah, I hope you're right. You know what? I'm a really passionate guy. Hopefully, when people are hearing what I'm saying, I'm just hoping that they can grab little life lessons along the way. Being an entrepreneur is getting in there every day, spitting in your palms and going after it, chasing it down every day. And win or lose doesn't matter. You know, I always say, if you haven't failed in business, you're not trying hard enough. Failing is part of growing. Pain is part of growing. And that's not only in business, that's in your personal life as well. And I can't stress it enough that don't be afraid to fail.
Liberty on the Lake is always going to be an event to raise money for causes, worthy causes. I'm going to have it right here. There's not a better place, there's not a more beautiful piece of property. Just the way, being out on this peninsula, I mean, imagine today they expect over 1,000 boats on the lake. Most of these boats have between 8 and 10 people on them, so you're going to have 10 to 15,000 people just on the lake alone watching this concert, let alone the 600 people here. And if we can bring awareness to causes, boy, what a great way to do it. First and foremost, it's great talent, raising money for a great cause, and then always making it available to the lake. I want the people on the lake to have as much of a concert experience as all of our special guests do.
It's my pleasure here to bring up my friend, Mr. Tim McGraw. Tim, come on up, my brother.
Tim is going to play at our Twin Cities Summer Jam next year. It's the third week in July every year for the next 20 years. And he believes in giving back. He believes in, you know what, I'm going to live my life with purpose because he's been given a gift and he takes that gift to help other people. How do you want to live? How do you want to live this life? What's your legacy look like? Is it singing, or is it the differences you make in people's lives? And how did you give people a leg up? How humble and kind were you? And that is what it's about. And it doesn't matter if you're worth $10 billion or worth $2. So Liberty on the Lake, it's about that. It's about great talent, great concert, great musicians, raising money for unbelievable causes.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Cutting Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get.
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're talking about 3 things that I believe every entrepreneur needs to know. 3 topics that every entrepreneur needs to know to become super successful. The first one is, why do you have to relentlessly follow up on the same idea over and over and over until your head almost explodes? Why can't you just have a new idea and it executes itself? The second thing I want to talk about is nothing will work unless you do. So you, as the owner of the business, you're going to have to put forth that effort. And finally is the importance of creating a culture of discipline. So we're going to start off with a Jack Welch quote here for you. Jack Welch was the CEO of GE, who grew the company by 4,000% during his tenure as the CEO of GE. And he once wrote, "Good business leaders create a vision, articulate the vision, and passionately own the vision, and relentlessly drive it to completion." And folks, today's guest has relentlessly driven his ideas into fruition by building thousands upon thousands of franchise locations. Peter Taunton, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Good to be back.
Now, Peter, we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are hearing your voice for the first time. Briefly, tell us about the brands you've built, and then we'll get into today's topic there, sir.
So 3 different brands, and I'm building my 4th one now. My first one was Snap Fitness, which is a fitness concept. 9 Round, which is a boxing concept. Fitness on Demand, which is, once again, back in the fitness, kind of the virtual fitness type settings. And then my 4th brand right now, which is Nautical Bowls, which is my most recent. I've launched it about 2 years ago, and up to 100, almost 190 locations right now. But the other 3 brands I mentioned earlier, big brands, been doing those for 25 years, and we have almost 6,000 locations in 28 countries. So big operations, big brands, big business.
So it's safe to say that you're the founder of, or co-founder of, Snap Fitness, 9 Round, Fitness on Demand, and Nautical Bowls, which have over 9,000 locations that you've helped open. Is that accurate, sir? 6,000 locations that are actively open in operation in 28 countries. So it's a big operation. Wow. Okay. So let's talk about this first quote here. Jack Welch says, "Good business leaders create a vision, articulate the vision, and passionately own the vision, and relentlessly drive it to completion." Where do you see a lot of entrepreneurs missing the mark on that, in terms of maybe not being as relentless, or maybe they have an idea, but they don't see it through to fruition?
Look, you and I both know ambition is key. Without ambition, it's hard to get going, right? But I think people with vision, when they want to get into a business, the first thing they have to be very careful about, that it's not a pet project. In other words, first thing I ask them, look, it's great that you're ambitious, you want to start something, but number 2, and most importantly, make sure that the product has relevance. Make sure it has relevance in the eyes of the consumer, that you're not just the only one who's excited about it. And then the third piece of it is, make sure that it has trajectory. Make sure you can scale it.
Scaling it. Let's move on to our next topic. This is big here. Scaling it. This is big, though. This is a notable quotable from page 153 of my newest book here, called A Millionaire's Guide: How to Become Sustainably Rich. And folks, you can download that for free by going to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. So page 153, it reads, this is Jim Collins, the best-selling author. He writes, Jim Collins, By the way, folks, Jim, this is a guy behind the book, Built to Last, Good to Great, these sorts of things. He says, a culture of discipline is not a principle of business. It's a principle of greatness. So if you have all these wonderful systems that you guys create at Nautical Bulls, but somebody doesn't have the discipline needed to follow the systems, it's not going to work. Talk to the listeners out there about the importance of actually following the systems that you guys provide at nauticalbulls.com.
It's key. I mean, the discipline, and then right behind that is accountability. Obviously, without accountability, nothing matters. So for us, and like most successful franchises, you'd like to think that they've put together systems and processes and a playbook, if you will. And the goal is to just follow the playbook day in, day out, consistency, discipline, accountability. All three of those things work together hand in hand. And you can't have success. I personally, Clay, I think that any brand out there that's experienced any kind of success has balance on those three pinnacles, which is discipline, accountability, and consistency in good practices.
You said, I'm taking notes here. You said discipline. I want to make sure I get this. You said discipline, accountability, and what was the third one there?
Consistency.
Okay, consistency.
Consistency, meaning you're consistent. You get up. Some people think, well, call it your Dream 100. Okay, your Dream 100 candidates, which is something that you talk about often. Calling on your Dream 100. Okay, Peter, I called on them. Okay, when did you call on them? Last month. Okay, have you called on them this month? Literally, for us, we talk about you're going to get up every day and you're going to be plowing up new ground. Every day, it's all about getting Google reviews. It's getting people in your doors. It's getting people to try your product. That relentless, consistent effort, it never stops. And some people think they can do it. I did it this week. I'm good. I'll do it again next month. First week of the month, that's what I'm going to do. We tell them, look, no, it's what you do every day, that consistency, that discipline, those good material movements that drive the success of your business.
Now you're just getting me fired up. So I'm going to think of two examples that are right in my wheelhouse today. These are actual real case scenarios of people that I know and I want to get your wisdom on. One person I'm thinking of, we'll call him Dave. Dave's his name. We're not going to give his last name there because Peter, his nickname, his code word will be Dave because Dave's his name. And he has a business with multiple locations. So people have actually paid to buy a franchise from Dave because Dave has a system that works really well. And Dave, that's the code word because that's his name. Dave has some franchisees that don't want to do the work. They've bought the franchise from Dave. Now, this is the situation. I don't own the franchise. I'm not the creator of the franchise. I help to develop the franchise. So I don't have an equity piece here to kind of clarify this. And so Super Dave is a client, a great product. I mean, phenomenal product. He's a great guy. And these early franchisees, it's not big brand yet. I think it's going to scale, but these early franchisees, they don't want to do the Dream 100. Which, by the way, the Dream 100 system in this particular case, it's in the health space, and they make a list of businesses that are nearby. They need to stop by and offer. It's not a food, but they offer a sample or a tryout or a trial of this service, and then they're supposed to get Google reviews from the happy customers. And he's to a point now where I think his head's about ready to explode because the one location that's rocking and rolling, they do the Dream 100 and they get the reviews, but the other ones don't want to do the Dream 100 and they don't want to get the reviews. What would you say if you're sitting down with Dave and trying to help Dave?
Look, I think for many people, taking that first step is the hardest move. So what we do, in fact, we just did this with a couple of our brands. Rather than having them create the list, we created the list for them. Okay, we created the list, gave it to them, say, look, here's your 100, here's your 200 businesses. You need to go into these businesses, make an introduction, tell them you would love the opportunity to earn their business and earn your trust. And as old school as that sounds, Clay, people never get tired of hearing that. If I walked into your business, Clay, and say, hey, Clay, here's a sample of my product, I would just love the opportunity to earn your business and earn your trust. When I leave, you're not going to look at me and say, the nerve of that guy to come in here, give me a free sample, and he's asking me if he can have an opportunity to earn my business and earn my trust. As old school as it sounds, as cowboy as it sounds, that type of character never gets old.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, what would you say to Dave? Again, this is the secret code name because Dave is his name. Dave, has these franchisees that they're the customers that come into the businesses are very happy. So these franchisees own their own locations and the customers who come in are happy. But the local guy he doesn't want to get the reviews. He says things like, well, I tried, or I was going to ask, but some people just don't want to do it or whatever. And you're looking on the key performance indicator sheet. We in our world, we call it KPIs. Most people will call it key performance indicators or core metrics, or people have different names for that. But basically, we measure what we treasure, and we see these locations that are not succeeding are getting one Google review every 2 weeks when they're seeing like 40 new patients a week. What would you do if you were, working with Super Dave here, or you could mentor Super Dave or give him some advice here? What would you say to him if he's got these local franchisees that just don't want to get the Google reviews?
I think if they don't want to get the Google reviews, Clay, they probably don't understand the power of Google reviews and what Google reviews will do for you in the backset. Essentially, the more popular you become on Google organically, it's like free marketing. It's like free advertising. So clearly they missed the bus. They skipped that day of school of understanding the importance of what Google can mean to you. At the end of the day, if they don't want to do it, your plan B is always, look, if you don't want to do it, let's hire someone who's going to do it. But let's make sure that we train the staff. Once again, Clay, that's the challenge in franchising. Occasionally, you're going to get franchisees that don't want to put in the work, and they have to do one of two things. They have to hire someone that's going to do the work, put the right human capital in place to where those things are done. And the most challenging times, Clay, is when you have a business that's successful, they're cash flowing, and they're going to look at guys like you and I and say, hey, why are you calling on me? Call the guy that's not making money. I'm making money. And what I have to say to them is, look, think about how much money you're leaving on the table. By just not putting in the effort, think about how much you're leaving on the table. If you just put a little effort in, it might pay you back 2 or 3x. So let's just try it. You're going to find it's not as difficult as you think it is. And let's see what the ROI is on that extra 10% of effort that you have to put forth.
Now, switching gears, we had a guy named Mark. We won't give you a last name. His code name is Mark. And I just had a conference, and this guy named Mark, I won't tell you what industry he's in, but I'll tell you he's in the upper Northwest. And Mark came to the conference, and he was in the Past Business Workshop. And just to give people the scene or the setting, we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I call it Tulsa, Jerusalem. We're in my office. We're surrounded by thousands of success stories on the walls. I mean, case studies everywhere from real clients that we've really helped. You're seated in a room of 100 people, and probably 30 of the attendees are active clients who are having major success. And he's talking shop with another guy, and he says, I just don't, and it's an interesting story, but Mark was telling another client of ours who's successful. So Mark, who's not a client of mine, is telling a client of mine, it seems like business is just, I don't want it to be so repetitive, because my business is different. I don't feel the need as a contractor to get Google reviews every week and to call, Clay was talking about needing to call an average lead and text every lead until you reach them. And to me, that seems like a little bit of a challenge. And you could tell that he was having a hard time, not with the complexity of what was being taught, but with the idea that he didn't actually want to do the work. So I'd love to get your thoughts on this, because Maya Angelou, the best-selling author, she said, nothing works unless you'll work. And so here we were, Peter, at this conference, and I have a super successful client who's seated next to a guy whose business is not doing well. The guy who's not doing well talks about how, growing a business, it just seems so boring. Whereas the other guy loves this information and loves the repetitive tasks. I'd love to just get your thoughts on what it should look like to have a successful company, whether it be a Nautical Bowls or a Snap Fitness. I mean, should it be monotonous? Should it be routine? How should it feel to run a successful company?
Well, I think what's the reward of driving a successful business is just that. The consumer is coming in. They love your product. They love the way you deliver it. They love the whole guest experience. That's key. I mean, the type of person that you're describing, honestly, Clay, not everyone is cut out for business. And to me, if you don't want to put in the work, that's okay. But we need to hire someone who's willing to do the work for you if you're not willing to do it. Because optimizing efficiencies and performance of a business, it's work. It's something that you get up every day and you do. That's why some people make great business owners and others don't. That doesn't prohibit you from becoming a franchisee. And unfortunately, for us franchisors, we don't learn that many times until after they become a franchisee. So what is our goal? Our goal is to try to lift them. Our goal is to try to mentor them and help them become great operators. And if it's not them, that's okay. It's someone that they hire. That's why we always talk about the importance of good human capital. Surround yourself with great people who are going to get the message, get the vision, and most importantly, are willing to put in the work.
Now, in part 2 of today's show, we're going to air a success story with a longtime client who's built his auto wrap company and taken it next level. And he's nailed down all the processes, the systems, the website optimization, the marketing, the branding. And Myron has just been a wonderful client to work with. And it's great to see him 7 years into our program, still producing major success. But I know Peter, who's not a good fit for my program. So when someone goes to thrivetimeshow.com to schedule a free 13-point assessment, I have call screeners that try to make sure I'm not on the phone with people that just wouldn't be a good fit. I would ask you the same question. If you go to nauticalbowls.com, a lot of people want to buy a Nautical Bowls franchise because they see the financial freedom and time freedom it can produce. Who's not a good fit to buy a Nautical Bowls franchise, and who is? If you could kind of go over the character traits or the financial, because we just want to know who financially is a good fit based upon their character attributes. Just kind of walk us through who's a good fit for Nautical Bowls and who isn't.
Well, first of all, I mean, you need to financially qualify. And the good news about our product is it's very minimal. We set the bar fairly low financially. We provide financing for our franchisees. So that's a box that's easy to check. The one that's more difficult is people that actually have the people skills. They smile easy, they lean in, they have that kind of servant attitude. Those are the type of profiles that we look for if we're going to award the Nautical Bowls franchise opportunity to them. So it's personality.
And I in my world, I call it coachability. So I guess a good example would be the other day I had a friend of mine, Cash Patel. He traveled to Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's a friend of mine. He's an attorney, and he's kind of a high profile guy. And he came to Tulsa. My daughter, who's 19 years old, is leaning in and just really asking questions like, hey, what's it like to be in the White House? Or what's it like? How'd you get your first job? Or before you got into politics, what kind of attorney were you? Where'd you go to school? And they're having this conversation, Peter, and pretty soon my daughter's like, so, what kind of home did you grow up in? And wow, you had 20 people that lived in the same house when your family immigrated here from India? Wow. And the conversation just kept going and going. And the night was awesome because he felt as though people were interested in him, and we were. But there's certain people that, you talk to them and they're not engaged. They don't want to learn how to improve. Would those be the kind of people that you would say, you're not a good fit? Or I'd love to get your thoughts here.
Well, you know what? If people don't fit the profile, it doesn't mean that they can't be an owner of a Nautical Bowls franchisee. Because for many of our franchisees, they're semi-absentee owners. They hire the talent. So we tell them, here's the profile of the type of person you want representing our brand behind the counter. So in many cases, you have an owner. They may be a little bit introverted. They may be a little bit shy. That's okay. If they're not going to be the one driving the bus every day, that's all right. Just give me the person who's going to wake up every day with fire in their belly, that's going to drive the vision and the passion and the guest experience of Nautical Bowls. That's why I love our product. All we do is we sell acai bowls. We do it better than anyone else. And we can teach you. We can teach you how to fish, which is important for any great franchise brand.
Now, a lot of the great franchise brands I've worked with directly have coaching available. Now, there's 3 different ways I find that the coaching is available. Some brands say, hey, we're going to have an annual conference or a biannual conference. Then they have like a weekly call with the franchisees to make sure that they're executing. Some brands have kind of a call when available program where if the local owner needs a call, they can get a call. Some brands do everyone has their own level of coaching. I'm a big fan of the idea of the annual conference and then making sure you have a coach available to answer questions so that the franchisee doesn't drift, so that they start off with big success and they don't drift into oblivion. Tell me about this. When somebody opens up a Nautical Bowls, those first 90 days, without giving away the secret sauce, what kind of coaching do you provide or mentorship for the new franchisees?
Well, once they come into Nautical Bowls University, they leave with a game plan of the first 90 days of their store. And actually running their store, it starts about 30 to 45 days prior to their doors opening. Also, when they leave Nautical Bowls, they've got a dedicated franchise account manager that's at their disposal. Should they have any questions at all on the day-to-day during their grand opening, somebody that they can pick up the phone, call, and get an immediate answer. They don't go into some dialer program. So that's our support within our system. But the other part of it is the simplicity of it. Also, every week we do a Zoom call that everyone in our franchise system is available, can jump on. The first week they get the CEO call, which is myself, laying down the vision of the brand. The second and the last week of the month is pure marketing, talking about best practices. And the third week is pure operations. So every week you can hop on a Zoom call and hear from the best in their class on how to drive and build a successful business. And I think that's what franchisees are looking for. They're looking for someone who's going to hold their hand through the process and keep them accountable.
Now, with Nautical Bowls specifically, and again, without giving away all the secret sauce, I'm going to tell you folks why I'm a fan of the brand, why I think the brand makes sense. So one is that if you buy a Nautical Bowls, it only requires you to have one full-time employee at the location at a time, maybe a max during peak hours, maybe two. But, you're talking about a business model that doesn't require you to have 15 employees to make it run. You don't have to have a dozen employees. Second thing is it's on trend, but not in a quick trend. It's more of a long trend. America's going healthier. America wants to eat healthier. And Nautical Bowls is a meal replacement. It's not just a snack. And a lot of people are discovering that at nauticalbowls.com. Third is the affordability. You guys have financing options available to make it work for almost anybody who wants to buy a franchise. And again, you've thought through it and have decided to make that very affordable. But the thing I love the most about it is the turnkey stupid marketing. And you say, stupid marketing? No, folks, listen, when you hear stupid, sometimes you feel like it's an attack. No. I'm saying it is so simple that an idiot could run one. And I'm not saying anybody out there is an idiot. I'm just saying that if you were an idiot and you're going, I can't remember how to market a Nautical Bowls, I don't know what I need to do. Well, you'd have to get Google reviews. You'd have to do your Dream 100 reach outs, and you got to wow your customers. And this is, because again, Nautical Bowls and the team there, Peter helps you choose a location where you can't lose. They help you create a product that doesn't lose. But you, every week, I don't understand what I have to do. You got to get Google reviews. You got to do the Dream 100 drop off, and you got to wow your customers. Maybe I'm missing something there, Peter, but the marketing, is really a simple, proven plan. I'd love to get your thoughts about just the marketing. How complex or not complex is the marketing system that you guys have created?
Well, you know what? The good fortune for us is we're in the healthy, fast, casual segment. And we are the hottest category. The acai bowl, that class, it's #1 in healthy, fast, casual. So we're in demand. People are still learning about the product, which is exciting. Everyone that tries the product loves it, which I think is fantastic. So the key for us, put the product in people's hands, put the product in their hands, let them try it. Once they try it, they love it, and they're going to come into your store, become a loyalty guest. Our loyalty guests spend 4 times as much money as a regular walk-in customer. Why is that? Because we have the opportunity to blow in their ear through texting and instant messaging. And that's where it's at. It's not billboards, radio, direct mail. It's literally getting people to download our loyalty program. We give them gifts by being loyalty customers of ours. They can earn free bowls. And that's what the consumer's looking for. They're looking for appreciation of them spending their hard-earned dollars. And they also appreciate how much we focus on the guest experience in the store. All of those things coupled together is what make our brand a success. The community and culture, our product, the community and culture within our 4 walls, the product that we create. That's why we're #1 in our class. We're the fastest growing acai bowl concept in the country.
So I'll say this, folks, for anybody out there who's coming to our next in-person 2-day business workshop, it's a 2-day interactive business workshop. What we do at our workshops is, one, everybody can afford to go. So we tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. So you can always afford these things. Now, I'm not sure when you're going to see this event, but we do them every 2 months. And so the next one that we have coming up as of the time of the recording of this is December 7th and 8th. And so I'll make my commitment here, Peter. If you come to the December conference, if you can make it, if you can't, we'll figure out a different one. But if you can, I will buy nautical bowls for all the attendees so they can try it out, and we'll stream online. Usually we'll stream. The last one we did, let me pull this up here. The last one that we streamed, let's go here. I'm going to go to our Rumble channel and see. So the last one that we streamed to, we had, I don't want to exaggerate the number. Don't want to get the number wrong. I don't want to get the number too low or too high. Let's see. Okay. So we had 53,900 people that streamed online. So for those of you who are streaming online, you won't be able to taste the nautical bowls, but for those who are in person, I'll make sure we'll get you nautical bowls. And if we can't do it at the December conference, we'll get you at another one. Peter, people out there, they want to learn more about nautical bowls. They're very interested in scheduling a consultation. Tell us the first step they need to take there, sir.
Simple. Go right to the website, just like you see there, and click on franchise in the upper right. You're going to fill out a very simple questionnaire, and we will reach out to you within 24 hours.
That's the move right there, folks. Again, that's Peter Taunton. And just to be clear here, folks, this man has helped to open up 6,000 locations in 28 countries. I'm taking notes here, folks, making sure I'm getting that right. In 28 countries. And he knows about building a culture of discipline, accountability, and consistency. And if you want to learn more about nautical bowls, go to nauticalbowls.com. Peter Taunton, thank you so much for your time, sir. And we'll talk to you next week.
My pleasure. Take care, Clay.
Take care. Bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, we're interviewing an entrepreneur who is kind, who is diligent, who is the kind of person you'd want to hang out with. And I think if you're out there today, we need to understand that money is just a magnifier. Money just makes you more of who you are. And I hear nothing but great things about today's guest and longtime client. Myron, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, thanks. I'm doing good.
Hey, so real quick, let's get into your background a little bit here. How did you first hear about us? How long ago was that when we first started coaching or working with you?
So that was, man, it had been about six and a half years ago. Steve Currington, one of you guys' longtime clients as well. He actually recommended me to you guys about 6 years ago. And I went to one of your conferences, and I was blown away by what I seen at the conference, and I had to join.
Now, someone wants to verify you're a real person, and also it might turn into a couple deals for you. What's your website so people can pull this up and verify you're not a hologram?
Yeah, check us out. whitegloveautotulsa.com.
whitegloveautotulsa.com. So let me pull it up here. whitegloveautotulsa.com. And with White Glove Auto, what are all the services that you guys provide at this point?
So the services that we provide right now are like services like paint protection film for your vehicle to protect its paint, ceramic coating for your paint. It's another form of paint protection. We do window tinting, and then we do vinyl wraps.
So you guys at White Glove Auto, I mean, you guys do quite a few services. Also, these mics I have right here, you guys auto wrap these microphones. Is that accurate, sir?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we printed out that wrap ourselves and we wrap those.
That's awesome. So that's, again, folks, that's White Glove Auto. Now, as far as growth, since we've had the opportunity to serve you, what kind of growth have you seen over these past 6.5 years?
So, man, that's the crazy thing. So our growth has been absolutely insane. I averaged it up over the last 8 years I've been in business. We've averaged about a 52% growth year over year, and that is just insane.
So you've grown. If you had to go back 6.5 years from when we started with you to now, do you know what that total growth percentage would be? Are you like 5 times larger or 10 times larger?
Oh man, I mean,
50% of a big number is,
I mean, when I first started with you guys, I think I had just done $100,000 for the whole year. This year, I'm probably going to do 2.1 million.
Wow. So you guys are up 20 times.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for anybody out there that hasn't worked with a business consultant, I always tell people what we do is very analogous to what a personal trainer does for fitness. And I would also say that what you guys do at White Glove Auto is very similar to what a personal trainer does, but you do it for automobiles. So if you're out there today and you want to auto wrap a vehicle, I guess you could get a manual about it. And I guess you could get all the equipment. And I guess that you could devote usually years to learn the craft and master it and then invest in the physical building to auto wrap your own vehicles. Or you could go to an expert. Can you kind of explain what it's like working with a business coaching program on a week in, week out basis?
Yeah, so like working with the business coaching program is phenomenal. It's something that I'm very glad that I've done. Every week, meeting with you guys, for instance, is just nice to know updates on my SEO and how things are going. And anytime I have questions about things I might be stuck on, and being able to have those questions answered has just been great.
And with the meetings, I think one of the things that I think is very important, whether you have a business or you have a business coach, you need to have certain core, repeatable, actionable processes that you go every week so you don't drift. There's certain core, repeatable, actionable processes. Could you talk about maybe how those meetings have helped you to make sure that, that you're not drifting and that your organization is continuing to knock out those core, repeatable, actionable processes?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the biggest things I learned from you guys' meetings is, doing checklists and processes and just making sure I'm doing the same thing every day. And when I go to my meetings, my coach is always following up with me, making sure I'm doing my action items. And if I'm not, he kind of gets a little upset with me. So it keeps me on track. But yeah, learning those processes has definitely been a huge help for us as well.
Can you maybe peel back the onion and maybe share a couple core, repeatable, actionable processes that you have to do every week that might seem kind of mind numbing, but that actually produce results?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something I do every week. I do actually every day, and that's finances, going over my numbers and seeing my exact expenses and how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. And I do that every single day for about an hour, hour and a half a day. And it's mind numbing, but it's something I got to do. And that's something I learned in Thrive as well, is making sure you're on top of your numbers.
And my understanding is you now are the owner of a Lamborghini. Is this an accurate thing? Did you just buy a Lamborghini?
Yeah. And I did just buy a Lamborghini. It delivers today.
And what does it look like, or what kind, for people out there that don't know what it is? Can you maybe describe it or tell me what kind of Lamborghini is it?
Yeah, it's a 2020 Lamborghini Huracan Evo. It's actually like a purple color. So Viola Pacife is what the color is called. Yep, Huracan
Evo, got it. And I am not a car guy, so I'm going to just hack away here and see if I can find it. So this is kind of what it looks like, but yours is purple.
Yep, exactly. It's purple. So it's not a convertible either. It's actually the coupe, but that is pretty much what it looks like.
And has this been on your wish list for a long time, or?
It has been. Yeah, it's been on a wish list for a very long time. I can't believe I've actually been able to buy a $300,000 car, but here I am.
Now, let's talk about this for people out there that are thinking about coming to a workshop. I always tell people it's $250 to come to a workshop, or whatever price they want to pay. What can people expect if they come to a workshop?
When we come to a workshop, I mean, even though it's, $250 or, whatever you spend, you're going to get a ton of value out of that. Whenever I go to a workshop that you guys have, I always learn something new every time I go. There's a bunch of information, a bunch of questions that get answered that maybe I didn't know I had. So anyway, it's very, very helpful.
And we'll talk about website edits and graphic design and branding and print pieces. I think a lot of business owners, they have a consultant they hire, and then the consultant they hire tells them, well, you need to go optimize your website, or you need to go launch ads, or you need to go look at your numbers. But they don't actually sit down and help them with their numbers, or help them with their website, or help them. How has that helped you, having a turnkey, one point of contact, where every week when you meet with our coaching team, after that meeting, you've got a team that's doing the photography, the videography, the web development, the search engine, and kind of helping you with those things behind the scenes?
Oh, it's a huge help. So, I mean, if you guys were just telling me, hey, do this, do that, and not giving me any type of actual coaching on how to do those processes, probably wouldn't do it, because it'd be a little too difficult. Maybe it's a little overwhelming. So it's definitely nice to have a lot of help on the back end from you guys.
Now, let's talk about this idea. In business, there's always a new idea. People like to bring up new ideas and obsess on new ideas and not execute the proven ideas. Can you maybe talk about that? Because I see a lot of wonderful entrepreneurs that reach out to us. They schedule 13-point assessment, and I find out that for 10 consecutive years, they've been hopping to the idea of the month, the idea of the week, the idea of the hour, and they're always hopping from idea to idea, but they don't actually get anything done. Can you maybe talk about how coaching kind of helps you stay on track with what works?
Yeah, I think really the biggest thing is just having that coach there that's behind you. And every week, like I said, whenever you're meeting with that coach, they're just making sure that you're staying on track. Again, having somebody who's there and knowing that they could get upset with you because you're not staying on track and doing your action items, is a huge help. You know, if I didn't have that person behind me kind of helping push me, I don't think some of the stuff would be getting done.
Now, you know, we charge $1,700 a month as of the time of the recording of today's show. $1,700 a month. We operate at a 20% margin for what we do. And we're very clear about that. It's $1,700 a month. It's month to month, and it's 20% margin. With your business model, you guys do auto wraps. And if somebody out there is looking to auto wrap, let's say a truck or a car or a vehicle, what kind of has Andrew been able to help you be intentional about making sure that you're not doing auto wraps where you lose money? Because I know a lot of people in your industry that I've met at conferences that do beautiful wraps, but they found a way to lose money on every transaction. Has Andrew kind of helped on that aspect to make sure that you're profitable?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's the thing is, you know, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of other people that do wraps, like you said, that are just afraid to charge what they want to charge. And one of the things that's helped me, like from Andrew, is just helping me not be afraid to charge what I need to in order to be a profitable business. And I actually get a lot of hate, a lot of shade thrown my way for charging higher prices, but it's what I got to do to run a profitable shop.
Now, this is probably an awkward time to place that order, so I'll put it on the agenda that we share. I need to get 6 more SM58 mics. You know, the ones with the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Where it's the red, white, and blue SM58 Shure mic that we have, and it's just the 3 colors. I think the mic itself is blue, and then I think the handle is maybe red or something like that.
Yeah.
I sincerely wanted to order. I need to get 6 more of those from you.
Yeah,
so for me and for anybody out there that wants to order stuff like that from you, what's the best way to do that?
So if anybody wants to do any type of ordering like that, they can just give us a call at our office number, which is 918-806-2780, and we're happy to help you. I mean, of course, our biggest thing is automotive. We can do automotive anytime, but we like doing little things like the mics, or going out to actual properties and doing some jobs out on site. We like doing a little bit of everything. So yeah, just give us a call.
I'm going to pull this up so people can see what I'm talking about here. So this is the mic here. That's an SM58 mic. It's the mic made by the Shure company. And this is the mic here. It's blue on top. It's got the white, then the red handle there. That's the SM58 mic. And you guys auto wrap those. So I'm going to put that on your agenda with Andrew so you guys can talk about it. But you guys do auto wraps. I mean, you guys do mic wraps. Anything else that you wrap that's a common request right now that people are asking you about there, sir?
A common thing here recently has been refrigerators. People want to have their little man caves and, put their cars in their garage, and they want to have their refrigerator wrapped with like car logos or whatever it is. So refrigerators, yeah, it's kind of a weird
refrigerator wrapping. That's awesome. And again, final question I have here for you. What would you say for anybody out there thinking about scheduling a free one-on-one consultation by going to thrivetimeshow.com? Maybe they're on the fence. We had a guy I talked to last week who'd been a listener for 7 consecutive years. And he said, I don't know what the deal was. I think I had a phobia of reaching out to you guys. And but he reached out to us, and in 9 months, his company's grown 57%. So in 9 months, he's grown his company by 57%. And on part 2 of today's show, I'm going to introduce our listeners to this man because he's doing really well. What would you say to anybody out there that's thinking about scheduling a consultation, but they have yet to do so?
Man, I say you're making a mistake if you're not reaching out ASAP. I mean, you're just holding yourself back. Working with Thrive is one of the best decisions I've ever made for my company. I've been with them for 6.5 years now, and it's something I really, really recommend everybody do.
Well, brother, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for carving out time for us again, folks. That website is whitegloveautotulsa.com. You can auto wrap a refrigerator. You can auto wrap a mic. You can auto wrap a Lamborghini, which now Myron now owns. So if you want to buy a Lamborghini from Myron, maybe he'll sell you he just bought it, but maybe he'll sell you his new Lamborghini at a reasonable markup. We'll see, folks. So you can buy a Lamborghini from Myron. You can buy an auto wrapped refrigerator. You can buy an auto wrapped microphone. You can buy all of those wonderful things at whitegloveautotulsa.com. Myron, thank you for carving out time for us. I really do appreciate you.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Whoa. During the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, 2024, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. Yes, folks, put it in your calendar. This December, the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business growth workshop. Whoa. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Folks, I'm telling you, if you want to learn branding, you want to learn marketing, you want to learn search engine optimization, you want to learn social media marketing, that's what we teach at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. If you want to learn accounting, you want to learn sales systems, you want to learn how to build a linear workflow, you want to learn how to franchise your business, that is what we teach at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to feature Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson. We've had the top PR consultant in the history of the planet has spoken at the Thrivetime Show workshops. We've had Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, a company that creates apparel worn by celebrities all throughout the world. Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, has spoken at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshops. We have the man who's responsible for turning around Harley Davidson, a man by the name of Ken Schmidt. He has spoken at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops. Folks, I'm telling you, these events are going to teach you what you need to know to start and grow a successful business. And the way we price the events, the way we do these events, is you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, we've designed these events to be affordable for you, and we want to see you live and in person at the 2-day interactive December 5th and 6th Thrivetime Show business workshop. Everything that you need to succeed will be taught at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop December 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the way we do these events is we teach for 30 minutes and then we open it up for a question and answer session so that wonderful people like you can have your questions answered. Yes, we teach for 30 minutes and then we open it up for a 15-minute question and answer session. It's interactive, it's 2 days, it's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've been doing these events since 2005, and I'm telling you, folks, it's going to blow your mind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop is America's highest rated and most reviewed business workshop. See the thousands of video testimonials from real people just like you who've been able to build multi-million-dollar companies. Watch those testimonials today at thrivetimeshow.com. Simply by clicking on the testimonials button right there at thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of people just like you who've been able to go from just surviving to thriving. Whoa. Each and every day, we're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup, but I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrivetime Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops, because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems, so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy in Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today, Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And so Mr. Clay Clark, he's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
Well, first of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, "Have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad?" And I said, "No." And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed, to the business owner, to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you, thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you, thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, "I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this."
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa.